How are you feeling?
Ah,
You don't even know.
me, I don't know.
This is the first time actually you are even part of my work.
Yes, I am. Yes, you have run your race.
Now I can afford you. That is the first time you're playing Can We Talk? Actually, no, we played it as a family
We did.
once. But how are you feeling? This one is more personal. Me and you.
Well, I'm going to take time to know more about you, possibly. Those aspects I've not known as my daughter. Maybe the cats will bring them out.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe so. Let's get into it. The first one is, how would you love to be remembered?
I would love to be remembered as somebody who has contributed positively to this country, and somebody who has been able to raise a family which is responsible family. I would hate to see a situation where somebody refers to my child as a chuchana cha Katumba. Yes, that's
Do you feel like it's already almost there?
I think of the I would say without well, proudly, that I think um, I'm quite contented with what I see with my family, how far they have moved. I know that there are still many more challenges to come, but I think so far so good. I don't have a child or whom I can say has let me down.
You're not worried about
I'm not worried. I'm not worried about that. Yeah.
Okay. Now it's your turn.
Okay. This is a big one for you. Share some life advice with me.
Okay. Some life advice with you from my experience. I think you need to rest more. I think I say this all the
Oh,
time,
yes, you have.
but I think because even me, like I'm at the beginning of my career and this, but I think if you not put so much, I know your work is a big part of your identity, but to find yourself outside of your work, I think is something that's so important, and I think rest is a big part of that. And also your body. I think me these days I respect my physical body, and I think you need to slow down a bit so you can even do more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, coincidentally, I was reading mental health, an article about mental health today, and something, it talked in that direction about me, people finding time to slow down, find activities which are not so, where you can calm down and rest and meditate and, that kind
You
of.
used to come home and
Yeah.
say you're resting, but you're watching news. And I'm like, you're not resting.
At least the news, but then the telephones.
Yeah, the phone.
They used to irritate you.
I think actually the way you rest is sports. That's
Yeah.
something I remember. But these days you have not been playing as much sports.
No, but I do physical exercise.
This one is a wild card. Give me a compliment.
Oh, one I would say that I've loved the way you have challenged yourself out there, because when you started this idea of Can We Talk, I had no clue what you're talking about. You remember in Canada and you told me how I couldn't figure out what is it all about. But I think you have been able to challenge yourself, and and I think you are so far so good. Even from the grapevines, from what I hear from people, I think you have done well so far. Have you hit the mark? Maybe not. Maybe there's still more to come, and I'm looking forward to seeing that happen. I never knew you would be before a camera and and confidently.
Underestimated me as the last born.
No, not in that direction, but because you have been a kind of a quiet person, so I didn't expect you to go out and be able to be up before a camera and be open and discuss. So this one says, what are your thoughts on aging and growing old? Coming where I am. That's. Are you worried?
Yes. To be honest, it's both, eh? I think I've seen the reality of aging now. Before it was like, yeah, you would see people getting old, but I think watching your parents grow old is very sobering. Like it's like, so it makes me nervous in that sense of, you see the medication you have to take to keep your body moving. You see the problems that you never thought,
Yeah.
like how life, the problems don't stop, they just get, I don't want to say bigger, but bigger. So I'm anxious in that regard. On the other side, I'm also excited to see where I would be when I'm at your age. I think being more sure of yourself, like with age, is something that I'm looking forward to. Because when I think of like 30, I'm now 30 versus 20. Just the surety you have, I think, is something that comes with age and experience. So it's like a double sword.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't taking on bigger responsibilities worry you?
It scares me so much. I feel like even where I am, I feel like I have responsibility.
Yeah.
Now I look at you, I think it's something I don't look forward to. Like I look at the amount of responsibility on your back.
You don't envy me?
No.
Not in that
You know,
direction.
have you heard of black tax?
No, what's that?
So black tax is this term where it's like the tax black people pay for having been successful. It's what our generation calls it. If you're more successful, you have more expenses because you're supporting your your extended family,
Yeah.
or you have to, black people, like it's just a thing of you have to show up for everyone.
Yeah.
So I think seeing your black tax and the heaviness of it is like scary.
Can I tell you that I pay more school fees now than when you were in school?
You see? It's just too much. And also I see like it's not something that you choose. I think it's something that just comes as you get older.
Yeah.
Even just seeing like our family, like there's so many nieces and nephews. Even if you don't want to take on some responsibilities,
They'll come. They'll fall on your lap.
so I'm not looking forward to it. But I'm aware
It's
of it.
coming.
Yeah. How did you meet your closest friends? And what have they taught you about life?
Oh, well, I think my friends have been changing from time to time. Of course, those whom I had in schools are different. Some of them are gone. But there are those whom I've kept, like those whom I was with in college, whom we went to college together. We have kept together. And we have been able to maneuver life. But I've found new friends, for example, in Rotary. Rotary is an area where I think I've felt very happy to be. And the friends I've found in Rotary have been very constructive. I've found it a very nice organization because it gives you purpose for life and makes you feel that, you know, life is not all about you as a person. Yes, I know I've been helping people, but then when we go out, like for medical outreaches in Rotary, and you see the need of people out there, you feel that really, I'm in the right bracket of people and the right group of friends. So Rotary has been that kind of course, I have friends in the military. Those are professional friends. Those are professional
I've seen
friends.
with your Rotary friends,
Yeah.
I've seen you have more fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here I come. What hobbies and or what interests have you recently picked up?
Hobbies or interests? I think more art things. So I recently started painting for fun. you know, I grew up a science kid, being the one who always got every like A, and I think it put me so much in just like
Book,
the
book,
book, book, book,
book,
book,
book,
book.
book.
So I never got to enjoy hobbies of like art and
Sports.
things. So it's like I think I'm now discovering that I like artsy things. So painting is, I know you don't know this,
I
but
have no
I
idea.
have no idea. But yeah,
But
painting
I've
is
seen
something.
people with brushes
So
making colors which don't make sense, but they make sense to them.
yeah, so I think that's something I've picked up that helps me just rest and just do something for myself for fun.
But I've also recently seen you going for a lot in the gym, which I
I started
didn't.
doing gym, yoga.
Hey.
Yeah, until that one is because of the realization of the physical body and how important it is to take care of yourself. Because for me, I'm now getting older, so
You're getting mature.
30, yeah,
You're getting mature.
yeah. 30, you wake up with like, hey, my knee, now
Eh,
when I dance, the knee feels different. So
eh,
that's why I started gym. I don't say I enjoy it
mm,
actually with
mm,
gym.
mm.
It's just
It's
something
a
I just
discipline
do, but I
and a
don't
discipline.
necessarily enjoy. I know for you, you enjoy it.
Of
You used
course.
to enjoy working out. What music? I don't even know if you listen to music, Daddy, but what music or movies bring back memories of your childhood?
Oh, a number of them. As I was growing up, we had movies like James Bond 007. Have you ever heard
Really?
of that? Oh, that one I could fix myself on the screen and really
Yeah.
every minute of it. Of course, we didn't have a lot of time to watch movies during our time. We only had cinema halls where you'd go like maybe once in a while. I know when I was very young, there was something on TV, a series called The Man from Uncle, Batman. We had Batman. I think these days what they have, the children have something else. What does Amari watch?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. For us, we had Batman.
But this is not incest.
No, no,
Okay.
this is not in the islands, of course. Yes. So those movies, the ones which I can remember very when I watched, which I watched around primary 7, senior 1, senior 2, were those of James Bond 007. Then we had Terence Hill. I don't think I've ever watched that one. It was a cowboy movie, very nice. A lot of guns, and
So those are movies you watched
those
and
are
you
the
were like, I'm going to be there.
yeah.
Okay. And music? Did you used to listen
Music,
or you
yes,
just don't have interest?
yes, I like music. Even up to now, I listen to music slow. I don't like this boom 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 thing. I like,
Country. I remember you
yes, I
playing
love my
country.
country music slow, music which I listen and hear word, and I
Mm,
get the maybe what is the singer trying to convey.
mm.
But this one where you sing one word and then it goes boom boom boom, it's not. I don't feel like
Like
into
listening
it.
to it.
Yes. What qualities do you admire most about yourself?
About myself. Funny enough, I think like we share a number of qualities I admire about myself. One is like leadership and strategy. Like I'm really those people who I think long term, eh?
Mm.
So I think that's one.
Mm.
And then also, how do I say? Like I can strike up a relationship or conversation with anyone, regardless of where they're from.
Mm.
And I think that's something that came from my upbringing and where we grew up.
Where did
Like
you pick that? From your dad?
maybe from you. I would say from both of you actually, or from being brought up in Mukono. I think we used to run around the village. It makes you just be able to relate with anyone.
Yeah.
So I think that's
Community
a
kind of
so that's a
lifestyle.
quality I think I like about myself.
Mm.
And also one that maybe I didn't like before, but I like now is my sensitivity. So growing up a sensitive child, I don't want to say our home was a military home. It's not like the other military homes I hear about, but I think sensitivity is not a good trait generally in African
setting.
context. Yeah, it's like, oh man, I cover this. But I know my sensitivity is what has led to the work that I do. So that's something that I admire about myself.
Okay.
What has given you the most joy in your life?
Ooh, seeing my children grow up and become responsible. that one, yes.
Your fees paid.
I feel I've been paid. I've earned my worth. Seeing you people grow, being responsible. When I say everybody now has a home, I don't have to look over my shoulder to know whether I've had a meal. That makes my day. Yeah. What do you think we would be great at doing together? Me and you.
Can you answer it first? Actually, I think a little bit of community building. I think from your side of things, as like from your generation, from my way of doing it, I think if we came up with spaces that could help bridge the gap between the two communities, the parents and the side, I think that's something we could do well. And I think that's it. What I want to hear what you think.
Well, I think also if at one time you remember we had thought about having, promoting a charity, something like that.
Yes.
Having
something with more impact.
With more impactful to the society, like to kids. I know you love kids. I love kids. Maybe if we could find something in that direction, where we could have pick some kids and do something impactful to them. I think it would be satisfying to both of us.
That's true. Actually, yeah, you've talked about children a lot. And what has been the most significant financial challenge? I don't think we've ever talked about finances. You faced in your lifetime, and how did you overcome it?
There was a time when my family and I were not staying together. And I remember that time you had just been born. You were a baby. I was in Barara. You guys were in Mengo. And it was really hard. I could remember where Mami, for example, would say, Nina mu 10 leero lugenda kugula amata ga Belinda. And that's all she had. So it was very stressful because, here you have a family where you think you should be responsible, but then you can't meet their needs. But even where you are not meeting your own needs. The good thing is that I think the demand for school fees by then were not so high, because most of the children were starting school. But otherwise, that was a time. I think that was between 1994, 93, 94. That was a big economic challenge, a financial challenge during those times. The life was not made better from there. Then I went to Arua. It was even, again, more stressful. But, I think having a partner who was ready to weather the storm helped to kind of calm the calm the situation, and then we overcame it eventually.
I've never.
You had never known
No.
that there was a time when there was only money for your milk.
No. Me, I'm lucky. I'm the last born. I think I came in when things were a bit more. Like the parts I remember anyway. I couldn't tell. Okay.
If you could keep only one memory of us, what memory would it be?
The two of us. That could be a hard one. There are so many. There are so many actually. I think every time you have time with us, it's like a good time. I think there are two. Can I still? No, let me pick one. Okay, the most recent one. When you came to Canada, and it was my last time in Canada.
Yeah.
I think having that time to relate with you Now I'm
in
also an
in
adult, away from Uganda,
away from the military environment,
yeah, away from,
where we could walk on the street
yeah, we could
without
walk.
turning an eye.
We
Yeah,
went
we
shopping.
went shopping.
Our
We
walks
went
up the
we went up the
mountain,
mountain.
and also your phone was not ringing every day. It was like the one time we watched a lot of Netflix
Yes,
as
we
well,
did.
so it was the first time I learned the kind of entertainment you're into.
Mm,
So I think for me that was a special time.
mm,
Yeah, where it was just us bonding, and it
mm,
wasn't in the middle of a conversation. There's a phone call. There's this.
mm,
So yeah,
mm,
I think that was a memory I would keep.
mm.
What myths about getting older have you found to be true?
What?
Myths, like things they say when you get old, this is what
Mm,
happens.
mm.
I know one, for example, you always used to say, is, I'm going to get old and all my children will forget about me. But what have you found to be true about getting older?
Oh, well, I think what is really true is that as you get older, uh, you come to appreciate life maybe more than when it was, when you're jumping around, not minding what you're going to eat. But now, as you get older and you see, the real life faces you, I think you start to get more, you start to focus more on, but of course, there's also the element of anxiety, um, because now the reality is knocking. I'm 60 plus. I don't see myself going beyond 80 or
Why would
85.
you say that?
so, so, so these are the reality, because when you look, you say now so and so went at 87, so and so went at 85. So what are the chances that I'll go beyond that to 90 to 100? The other day, I was celebrating, actually, yesterday, no, the other day on Sunday. Two people, one was celebrating 87, another celebrated 80 years. And I was really admiring them. I said, oh my God, I hope I'll be able to
You
make
will.
to make it to that. But again, you look at that, and then you say, but also getting old when you can't look after yourself medically, because those medical challenges definitely, like it or not, they come with the age. There are things which you cannot wish away. There are conditions which just come. So you look at that and say, now, if they come, will I be able to manage? Will I become a burden to my children or to those whom I've looked after? Now, will I be demanding them to look after me? So some of those things, kind of keep you thinking, and maybe also planning better, because experiences which I've seen, like from my brothers, my father, my mom, they have now made me to maybe plan better for my old age, to have like constant, an arrangement where I can have constant income, at least for my medication, that I'm sure it will be there. On a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable are you sharing about your mental health with the older generation, such as your parents and your grandparents?
Um, I'm going to say three.
Mm-hmm.
Three. I don't know. I've never had a conversation about mental health with my
Mm,
parents, to be
mm,
honest with you.
mm,
Um, it's just something that exists. I
mm,
don't think we've ever talked about it.
mm,
I wouldn't know how to approach it.
mm. But do you think it's a challenge out there?
It is because, like, I'm sure you may not know, but I've gone through huge bouts of depression where
Mm, mm,
you
mm,
are so depressed that you're staying in your bed the
mm,
whole day, and you
mm,
just, you're isolating, you're this. And I think in that time,
mm,
if you could lean on, let's say, your parents, people who
mm,
you know, it
mm,
could help.
mm,
um but then a lot of times it's also like, okay, if I say this, how would it be received? Because most parents receive it like, does that mean I've not done, I've not done enough for you, or you
I've
go
not
work.
been responsible.
Uh, Yet the things can be, because we're also facing challenges that you don't know, right? So I think if there was that open
Conversation.
or even like from you, I've never heard you say I'm struggling. Like that's unheard of. So you end up trying to live up to this expectation. That is not human, because everyone, I'm sure, even you, I'm sure you've had your moments. And that's why you see a lot of, even when you look at like our generation, where someone's child commits suicide and they had no idea that they were that sad, because there's no open communication.
Yeah, so do you think that the absence of that is possibly is contributing to the mental illness we see these days, with
I think
which
so.
has become a kind of a concern that recently, for example, Nawagerika had even to go out and raise money to address the issue of mental health and mental wellness.
It's a big one. Because now, like last time, as Can We Talk, we went to Namabunga as well as Gayaza to talk about mental health. Do Can We Talk, help them to speak. And a lot of the girls, their thing is, oh, I've gone through this abuse, but
I can't
I
talk.
can't tell my mom. Yet, you're now, like, for them at that age, your mother, at least for me, I have my own, I can go out and say I've left the home. But a child that age has nothing but
Home.
So if she needs 3 days to recover from whatever is happening, she can't express that to the mother, right? So you end up getting advice from everywhere else, but when you come home, if the situation is bad, there's nothing you can do. But now that's why we're doing this. Share something about yourself that may surprise you. I don't think anything can surprise you.
I don't think so.
I read your book.
I
I saw all the ones that surprised me.
I think you know everything. I don't know. Maybe I can say I'm not a perfect person. I'm not a perfect human being, because I think sometimes you look at that and say, but that man, he has made a, I'm not a perfect human being.
Yeah.
I'm also, as a human being, I can have temptations. I can, just like any other human being.
I think the one that shocked me was smoking
Yeah.
cigarettes, and when you started trying to drink, you seem so disciplined that you've never done anything.
You see.
Yeah.
No, I'm a human being, and I have my flaws also. Yes, maybe I may not expose them to you, but as a human being, you know. And I hope that I'll not be judged. Yes, because making mistakes is human, just like any other person. Sometimes we may think our parents cannot make mistakes, but they're human.
What is one thing you think the younger generation is wrong about?
What do I think the young generation is wrong about? Um, not, it will not be correct, as I said before, to blanket all the young generation. There are those who have the positive mind. There are those who look at like saying, whatever happened in that old generation, that was that. We can't pick on that. We have, you know. The aspect of hard work. Some people, some people in your generation don't appreciate that you have to work. You need to sweat to earn. And that worries me sometimes when you see people like when you go on the street and you wake up in the morning, people just call you and say, "Mukama njagala emitwalo kumi," as if I slept making money. And this is a young man, hands, 2 feet, you know. So that's what I think. Some some people in the young generation, they need to change that. They need to understand that you have to work, and there's nothing that comes, no free lunch. You must have sweat out everything. And also some people are not consistent. They don't want to like to stay on a job and grow into that job. Today wants to be here, then he's jumping, is the other one, and that doesn't help you to have focus on. And then there is this new worrying thing which is coming, where a lot of the young generation have been taken into these miracle churches, where people go and spend the whole night doing nothing but pray. I mean, and tomorrow is a working day, and you, and here you are waiting for the miracle to come. Sure, that one is, I think, is the wrong way of looking at things. I'm not saying they shouldn't pray. People should, yes, 1 hour, 2 hours, you go and say thank you to God, pray, but you can't spend the whole night, the whole week, the whole month in church, and then you expect manna to come from heaven. That time is gone. The time of manna, where God was throwing food from heaven, is not today. That was then when maybe He had not given us enough brains. But God has now given us enough brains to use the brains to find food for ourselves. So I wish that if that the part of the thinking could go away, and we get people to use them, because there's so many opportunities now which you have which we didn't have. Yes.
I did my fair share of jumping around in jobs.
Until you settled somewhere. Yeah. So how would you describe this season of your life, and how can I better support you?
I think this season of my life I would say, is adulting 2.0. Like, I thought I was an adult when I was there at 25, but now, paying your own rent, paying your own bills, even running my own businesses, like trying to being responsible for it, like having responsibility and consequences for your lack of responsibility is the season I'm in. And I think shooting this with you is a way you can support me, because being self-employed stroke an entrepreneur carries its own weight that's different from having a job. And I think it's also a lonely journey, because if I had a company I was working for, I go there every day, I share my problems with the people working there, it's not as lonely. But the journey I have chosen to take is more, sometimes you can feel the weight so much on you, and I think the most support doesn't have to be financial. I think it can be showing up. Like now I asked, can we do this conversation? For me, this is support. So I think those are the ways you can support me. And also, I think another thing I would wish is, tell your children when they're doing good. I think sometimes parents think it goes without say, but I think hearing that verbal validation that, hey,
That's
you're
good.
doing good, or this, I think is also
Encouraging.
needed.
Okay.
Yeah. What experience would you want to relive for the first time again? Something, if you could go back and experience it for the first time.
If I could go back and relive it, you may not believe it. My first week in the training in the military.
Why?
Because when I look back now, the first 6 weeks were quite a big challenge, but they were not. But they shaped me. Yes, they shaped me. So I would, if I needed to reshape myself, I would relive those six weeks. Yes.
Yeah, those were not okay from what I read in your book.
Yeah.
They were not.
But they brought, they helped in cultivating a lot of what you see today. in terms of perseverance, in terms of tolerance. Those 6 weeks, what they inculcated in me is possibly what has enabled me. You can tolerate any person. You know, you get to the office and somebody comes in with, but you are calm and you are able to handle. Okay, in what ways do you think our differences affect our relationship dynamics?
Over how our differences. Again, I've said I feel like we're similar in personality. I know there's so many things. I feel like I'm 50-50 with you and mommy in terms of how I am. In terms of differences, I would say maybe vulnerability may be hard in the relationship, but not really. I can talk to you about anything. I actually don't have an answer to that one.
Okay,
I don't
pass.
know how. Yeah, maybe now they affect it. One day we'll know. How do you manage your mental well-being during challenging times?
Well, first of all is to avoid those situations which would cause mental stress. Try to find a way of managing your mental weight, the things which would overweigh you mentally. And sometimes, when there's this thing of ekintu nekibera when you take it to heart, it becomes a problem. I think sometimes you just let things go. Let things go. Let people let matters lie. Yeah, for example, like now in my case, in my work, you wake up every morning and there is this bridge which has gone, there is that road which has been washed away. This man is calling you, our road has been washed. Now, if you take it, I must do this, I must be able to fix this, then you'll find yourself overwhelmed. So some things like now, now there is, for example, it's a natural disaster. You have no control over rain. So you cannot do anything even if you wanted. So you just have to tell people, yes, we understand there's that damage, but we can't handle it now. So I think that the way you respond to a situation can help you to manage your mental health.
And then for the things that you can't, anyway, like you said, natural disasters you also can't control.
Yeah, there are things which are beyond your control. There are things which are within your measure, which you can, but there are those which are beyond your control. Wild card. Describe me in 3 words. Are you guys listening? This is it. 3 words.
I would say loving. I think you show love, actionable love. You don't just say. So I'd say loving, disciplined, disciplined and kind. Yeah, you're very, very kind. How did you come to believe in the religion or faith you believe in, and how has that belief served you?
Oh, actually, right from childhood, which is maybe different today, for us as we grew up as children, church was a must. Every Sunday. We even had what we used to call our Sunday best. The Sunday best, you'd put it on Sunday, go to church, come back, remove it, put it back in the drawer until the next Sunday. And as we were growing up in schools, because many of, like me, I went to church-led schools, it was a must, because they would even mark those who didn't come to church on Sunday. I can tell you that the religion or the faith which I got at that early age has stuck, has even been more influential to me than what I hear now. For example, sometimes I even find it difficult going to church because the preachers are preaching what is on the social media.
Yes.
Not what is in the Bible. I carry my Bible to the church, and the preacher doesn't even refer to it, and is talking about what is on social media, about what appeared in New Vision. But I've come to you as a person who was schooled in this area to help me understand how religion in the Bible, which I'm reading, relate to my life, my daily life. But that's not so. What I got in the early stages of has stuck and has influenced a lot the way I look at things from in that perspective of the religion.
They said these days pastors are influencers.
Yeah.
They have more following on social media.
It's
So
yeah.
it's actually than church.
Than church.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would change about the way you were raised? If yes, what would you change?
About the way
You were raised. Yes. Tell me what I should have. If I need to go back to re-engineer.
I've said it before. I feel like we were raised very, very well. I know for me also, because I think it also depends on which sibling you're talking to in a family. So because for me I came,
at the tail end.
The parents, like you had already maybe picked up better tools
Of managing children.
Even you yourself, you had more time.
Yeah.
I think so. You were more present with me, and then also, like, yeah, mommy is very grounding, so she came for everything at school and
visitation.
And also, I know that we were privileged. From I always say that, yeah, I'm aware of our privilege. So I don't know. I think what I would change is that thing of us being able to talk and discuss emotions freely. That, I had a bad day, and it's just, okay, tell me about it. As opposed to, we talk about everything else apart from the struggles. But also that I don't know if that comes within childhood or it's something that you grow to. So I feel like I was raised in a good way. I don't know what I would change. Maybe you would be around, you wouldn't be doing the job. That's the only thing I would change.
Yeah, talking about sharing, you remember when we used to have, when we were still very active on our prayer, the prayer times. I think one time I said, but let's go beyond just the prayer. Let's share.
But you see, we can't share because it was not cultivated.
It was not cultivated.
If I'm not used to coming to this person with a problem, I can't wake up
and start opening up.
Because I'm also scared of how it's going to be received or this.
Interpreted.
Yeah, so I think it's something that has to start from childhood, where if your child had a bad day at school, they can express it. As stupid as it seems for you as an adult, she should be able to express her bad day, and then space is provided. Yeah.
Okay.
But I know it's also a generation thing. What are your thoughts? I think we've sort of talked about this, but what are your thoughts and feelings surrounding death?
Of course, death it's scary. It creates gaps. It changes dynamics, even in family. And sometimes the gap sometimes when somebody has just died, you may not feel that gap, but then as time goes on, you start feeling the weight of that absence. So death can, it also calls for being able to manage the new environment when it happens. Sometimes you can look, it's coming, and that one which possibly the one which you can predict that it will happen. Maybe that is easier, but there is that one which happens like abruptly. That one is very difficult to manage the environment.
I think I also, what you said around how it changes things after is something, you hear about the grief and the sadness, but how it changes dynamics or small things in your life
Yeah.
is something that can shock you. Yeah.
And again, it takes, of course, we receive it differently. Some people brood for a long time, others grieve for many years, others grieve for a short time. But I think it also it would also require you to reach a time when you say, okay, it's unreversible, and you accept that has happened, because you can't take it back anyway. Is it you? It's me.
It's you.
My last one. What is something you know I'm right about, but find it hard on you to admit?
Something you are right about.
Mm.
Find it hard to
And it's hard for you to admit.
admit. I don't know, but this is what popped up. I think the thing you talk about, you talk a lot about family after you've gone and the preparation for that part.
Yes.
And
Are you in
I've
denial?
been very delusional of, no, you don't think about it. But I know it's a part of life that will come where it's like, okay, now the siblings are left. Now you're going to sort out family as siblings. I think it's something we talk about a lot, but I try to brush past it. It's not yet here.
Not yet there.
Yeah. But other things, most of the things you say, I'm just like, okay, I take it in. Yeah. So, and then how did having this one? Oh, yeah. How did having children change your perspective on life?
Hey, it brings in a lot of responsibilities. Things we
And joy.
well, past responsibilities. Of course, it brings joy. At some stage, you may feel over, but when your children grow up and you start having a conversation like this, it's very rewarding. Yes.
It's
Of
I always say with having children, because of course now the pressure is on me. Hey,
when
I'm always like, it's very, for me, it's been very sobering to realize that having a child is not just the cute baby running around. Like, your child remains your child when they are 30.
Yes.
I'm still, Daddy, I have this problem.
Yeah.
I think it has made me realize how big of a decision it is, as opposed to thinking, yeah, I'll have children and yeah.
Okay.
But thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
How did you feel?
Good. Good. I think it's a good way of making people. I don't know whether I've seen. One time I went to an Indians. They have an annual. There's an Indian religion. They have an annual event, and there was this picture on the wall which stayed in my mind. They were showing the Indian way of bringing up their children in that religion, and what is happening in the outside world. In the outside world, there was the father, the mother, 3 children. Each one was on, what do you call them?
On their phone,
On
like
their
you
phone
are.
line, on their tab, on what? And on the other side, on the Indian side, the father was reading a storybook for the children. The mother was also helping the child to paint. So it was, that picture stuck in my mind. And I said, if I have children, if I was to have young children, I think this is where we are close but far, in a way. Yes, we are in the same room, we are near each other, but then we are far apart. And I think that's also, that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, actually, you know, I keep saying, for me, it shocked me that World Health Organization recently named loneliness
Yeah.
as a big pandemic for
Yes.
both the older people
Yeah.
and our generation. So, but loneliness comes from you have like 20 people around you, but you don't share. You
You
only
don't share.
know
Yeah.
the top part of their life. You don't know the ins and outs of it. So, I'm glad you were able to do this.
Okay. So
And I
thanks,
have learned
people.
about you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.